So the first test for determining whether or not you will be eligible for Medi-Cal is medical necessity. For most of my clients, this is the easiest test to pass through. It's also the one that I often find to be the most offensive in a way. And the reason why I say that is that to get through the medical necessity test, we have to either, one, prove that you are legally blind. And legally blind means not that you can't see, but that you fit within that within the definition of legally blind, which means you may have a range of vision problem or a depth problem or that type of problem, but you fit within the parameters of being legally blind. Or two, you're considered disabled. Disabled does not mean disabled, again, like you and I think of as a disabled person. A few years ago, I was representing a family. My client was a gentleman who was obese. He had wildly out of control diabetes, gangrene in his right leg, amputation at the knee, and Medi-Cal fought me as to whether or not that constituted a disability. The reason why they fought me is that Medi-Cal uses the Social Security disability rules in determining whether you're disabled, and that is whether or not that injury is preventing you from being gainfully employed. And they were arguing that his amputation didn't prevent him from working. At the end of the day, I won, but that's the point. And they've removed all sorts of other conditions off their disability list. So for example, cancer is not considered a disability under the Medi-Cal rules. So you're either blind, you're disabled, or, and this is the part I find slightly offensive, you're over 65. At 65 years of age, you are considered disabled regardless of what your healthcare condition is. The reason why I find that to be offensive is that I personally know people that are in their 70s that are healthier than I am, and yet they're considered disabled and medically needy, and I'm not. So the first test for most of my clients is very simple to get through. We don't even need to show any form of diagnosis. We basically show your California ID showing that you are over 65, and you just put a checkbox in the first box. Relatively simple. And that's the first test. Pretty simple.